We are back at it again here with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. To all the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all the subscribers, welcome back. I'll ask for a return this video. Smash that like button, tell them I know you watch this video. Helps out the YouTube channel and lets me know you appreciate the time and effort I put into making these videos. Now, I have here in front of us the chart for AEHL stock. AEHL is in a position of opportunity. We're going to break down the data, the chart on the 1 day, on the 30-minute, and everything going on here as we see it with 42 vision, where you can see the strength in the charts and the weakness and what I expect moving forward. But before we jump into it, I want to share with you guys the opportunities I mentioned on Friday morning over at the Discord, as well as the weekly watch list home runs from last week that turned out to be phenomenal. We're going to go ahead and jump into that. We're going to get right into it here with the chart, AEHL, and everything moving forward. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the home run of the week, and I usually talk about the home run of the day. The stocks I mentioned this morning gave realistic expectations of 3 to 5%. The highest performer was IMPL, giving jumps of 10 to 15% at its highest peaks from the bottoms and the rips. And here we are to talk about the weekly watch list, because a lot of investors sometimes feel like daily opportunities might not be the fit for them. Well, there's a fit for everyone in the community, and you can always learn and grow by being part of the community, right? And here we are to share the weekly watch list home run. We had two stocks that performed pretty well, between 10 to 20%, but the home run of the week was ChargePoint. And we're going to talk about the whole entire list in just a moment. And if this is something that interests you and you want to become part of, you're more than welcome to join us. The link is down below in the description to the Discord. And by joining, you'll become part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together, and you'll gain access to both the Patreon and the Discord by joining. So CHPT, I talked about it on the 29th, right? This was Sunday. Pins was the worst performer of 3 to 5%, and Vuzi gave us 10% plus on the week from its lowest point to the highest point. So the same principles that I look for on daily opportunities to happen within the day, within that same week, I'm looking for 5 to 10%, 10 to 20%, and 20% plus moves. And here we have it. ChargePoint was at 21.24, and I talked about how earnings was coming up. Analysis price targets were looking still pretty strong, and the stock here on the 30th, right, hit a low of 20.73, came back up, came back down, hit a high here of 21.70, came back down, hit a high here of 21.90 something, and that right there alone was 5 to 10% move. So even right there, if somebody didn't feel comfortable going into earnings, that was pretty decent move. And then it pulled down, right, to $21 and took off to a high here of 24.78 into the next day. Nearly 25%. This was a 20% plus move, a home run for the week, something you can become part of as well. We look for opportunities daily, weekly, and even monthly, because some of these weekly opportunities can turn into monthly opportunities based off the charts and what it's looking like. We look forward to having you join us. Check out the link down below. And if you become interested in joining the 42 vision tier level, you'll be able to see when charts are looking weak, when they're looking strong, based off the candlesticks and specific levels on the charts. And it takes the trading experience to a whole new perspective and experience overall when it comes to looking at charts and looking where momentum and weakness is. And let's jump into these charts. So here we are with AEHL, and AEHL stock is in a position of opportunity. Now from the 52-week low, it's $1.50 away. And from this sideways action, right, from these jumps ups and pullbacks since February, the lowest point was $2.28. It's just 70 cents away from it. And the most recent low was 20 cents away from it at $2.45. So this is in a position of opportunity for many reasons, because of the fact that it has pretty high short interest, which we're going to look at together where exactly it stands, and the fact that it has a low float. I mean, this is a huge opportunity when it comes to catching this one on the pullbacks. Now, its most recent run went from 244 all the way up to 348. That right there was about a 30% plus jump. And that was a phenomenal opportunity right there from that dip to that rip. Now, the moment that you're knowing about a stock as it's pulling back, it's usually the best time to know about it, because either you're on time before the next rip, right? Or you're watching it as it's setting up for the next rip, right? Because every pullback is a setup for the next bull run. And you can see that here. Pulls back, bull run. Pulls back, bull run, okay? Pulls back, bull run, pulled back, took off, okay? For another bull run. And it just every single time. Now with 42 vision, you can see the extremities of the dip, the transition, and the peaks, right? Once the weakness has started and the transition back down is happening, right? And even when momentum has overextended based off of these candlesticks here. And this is something you can gain access to by joining the 42 vision tier level over at the Patreon. But here we are seeing it, and now I'm going to switch it over to the 30-minute, and then we're going to go over some things going on in the chart and also the data that it's showing. So you can see here when things were extremely oversold, and now you can see it on a more microscopic level when it actually reversed from 247 and started to push up towards these highs here of 348. It's been rejected, and this is a great opportunity to be watching this one going into next week if it actually reverses from here or goes into further weakness and bounces off to an even bigger explosive opportunity due to the fact of the data that we're about to look over together. So the first thing is the float, guys. Super low, okay? Outstanding 3 million, share float 2 million, okay? Huge, huge, huge thing to be aware of, because the lower the float, the more explosive. And that's why you're seeing many times this stock falls down to the 230s, 240s, bounces up to 5, comes back down to 230s, 240s, bounces up to the 4s. I mean, it's done it several times for the whole entire year. Now, the most explosive was June, and that probably was tied up with some type of news, as well as probably a lot of short shares, right? The share float of shorts. And that's what we're looking at here today. It's pretty high, okay? 24%, 4% above what would be considered high short float. And short float at 20% and above is something significant. Now, in this small run here from 230s, 240s to 340s, I'm going to assume that some of this has been covered. And if it hasn't been, the explosive growth is even higher as this pulls back, and if bulls come back in and force eventually the shorts to cover. So this is big, and this is something to be aware of. Short float is 24%. I highly recommend doing more due diligence on this one, doing your research as it's pulling back. And the first thing I would look at is our support level down here at 293, and then all the way down here to 247, guys. 247 is a key level, because if it gets broken through, this could go on its way to newer lows. And the lowest point that we've seen in the last several months, right, since March, is 228, okay? So as long as it stays above 228 or somewhere between 228 and 240, that might just be the maximizing point of what you would call a dip based off this chart and this data, right, from the last several months. Now, in the current state that's in, I'm going to be watching 293 all the way down to 268, and then worst case scenario 247. See how it reacts within these areas and see if the bulls try to reappear and bring it back up, or if the bears are tearing this one down fairly fast. Now, to the extremity of the bulls need to break through fairly quickly 329, and then the highest point recently touched 346. If that gets broken through, I would be watching how it does between 346 and the highs up here of 397. I would even just round that up to $4 to see how the stock is reacting, and if the bulls are pushing up quickly, and if it goes up pretty fast, that's not just the bulls, that might be some support from shorts covering. Now, when you look at this chart, right, from this area moving forward, this right here will be an important draw out if it continues to go up higher, okay? Even if it takes its time to get to $4, this is going to be important. Where will it actually turn back up towards this right here, right? If it happens down here towards right here, if it happens way down here, but where is it going to happen to do this move right here that's important on that first reversal, that next dip, and then that takeoff, which is the next section here, and on beyond to the continuation of that momentum. So it's going to be important to be watching this dip and when it actually starts to rip, and where will the bulls be in the standpoint, and could they hold it up at the newer highs, forcing eventually a short squeeze for shorts to cover. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.